Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's a beautiful weather, beautiful, amazing weather right now. It's raining in the valley in front of my house. I've shown my house and the place that I live in another video. Sipping a cup of coffee, just freshly brewed the coffee in a press. It's so cold outside, and this cup of coffee. Ah, ooh. In this video, I want to talk about my thought about not belonging anywhere, because I don't. I do not belong to anywhere, belong to anything, any idea, any structure, any group of people. Nothing. And this makes me so free. Like, now I realize that, now I think that how bonded people are mentally. People who want to feel belong and who actually belong to certain areas, certain groups, certain ideas, that makes them radical, orthodox. I do not belong to a family. I do not belong to my family. Because I am an individual. The sense of belonging is taught to us by none other than the great society. A society made on the structure of patriarchy by patriarchal men to control people's brains, their lives, their ideas, their thoughts. Everything human beings do is controlled by the idea of patriarchy. And patriarchy has developed society, religion, politics, wars, borders. Everything has been divided into different sorts of groups, and different sorts of people feel belong to a certain kind of idea, group, religion, country, etc. But I do not feel belong. And it is the most liberating feeling that you do not have to show up for anything out of duty. And all your duty is for yourself. All your responsibility is for yourself. Just 1 year ago from now, my entire life I've been a person of social values, family values. Being the eldest son in this family, specifically an Indian family, brings a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. And I was trying to carry it. I was getting burdened by the weight of it, by the constant anxiety that it brought. And I understand that it brings a lot of anxiety to other men also. Right now I'm talking about men only. I'm not even mentioning women because their anxiety and their responsibility is of another level, because the patriarchal system and men have left no choice for women. And so I'm not mentioning women specifically here, because being a man, I'm not able to fully relate with their pain and the burdens they have been carrying for ages, and so I might not be able to do justice. Because they that much I am able to understand that their pain and their oppression is far far more than the oppression of any human being that possesses male gender. At least we have some sort of liberty, some sort of. But this sort of liberty also is in the hands of the upper class, the people who rule the world. But they are only able to control us as long as we want to be controlled, as long as we choose to feel belonging in a particular section of the society. The moment you decide that you do not want to be accepted, or that you do not want to feel belonging, that is the moment that you are free. That is the moment, that is the particular moment that takes all your pain, your depression, your anxiety away. In India, it is a very common thing for lower caste Hindus to feel isolated and suppressed by the so-called higher caste Hindus. But this oppression also comes from the idea of those lower caste Hindus that want to feel belong in the religion itself. Despite being born in a lower caste, they want to be attached to the religion. The caste system is born out of religion, but they want to keep themselves in the religion. The moment they choose to detach themselves from the religion, they do not come under an oppressed society. For example, I belong to a family, and my family belonged to a lower caste Hindu. Uh, we used to live in a village in Uttar Pradesh, India. And the moment my parents decided to convert into Christianity was the moment that this idea of feeling small in front of few people was gone. One moment, please. Now, I'm not encouraging people to change their religion at all. I'm actually encouraging people to leave all their religions, because if living one kind of belonging gives you freedom, assume that how much freedom it will give you if you leave all sorts of belonging. Leave every religion, but no, people feel afraid of the feeling that they will be lonely, that they will be out of groups. See, because if you do not uh, belong to a certain any certain group, then you are lonely. One second, give me a moment. The moment you decide to leave every ideology, being from a Hindu religion, being from a Christian religion, being from a Islamic religion, your identity with the right wing, your identity with the left wing, you calling yourself an artist, you calling yourself a businessman, an industrialist, social worker, calling yourself from a state, feeling proud speaking a certain language, born in a certain race. Now, when you isolate yourself from all of this nonsense, all of this belonging, now you will find that you do not have any group that identify themselves with certain things. Now you will find yourself lonely, and that is where you compromise your happiness, your freedom, and you adjust with shit. But not me, and a lot of people as well. So many people today are realizing that there is much more to life than being trapped into a stupid brain rot society that has convinced us that we need to belong somewhere. People take pride in almost everything, just anything. If they feed animal, a stray animal, they join NGOs, and now they feel pride, call themselves animal lovers. Now this is also caste and creed. They made their religion to call themselves animal lovers. What is this thing called animal lovers? Love is an emotion and you can feel it for anything, anyone. But people want to be divided into groups. Now they are animal lovers. Now they do not love anything else, anyone else. They just love animals. Their identity belongs to animals. Just want to identify with anything. I'm not against people who take care of animals, who treat animals who are in need. But I have a problem with them identifying and feel superior. Every group, every sort of group, every sort of identity feels superior over other. They think they are doing any better. A man who takes care of the family, takes all the responsibility, feels pride. A woman who gives her life to her husband, her in-laws, her children, feels pride. Everyone is filled with pride, ego. housewives, homemakers feel proud. It's a group of people. Housewife is a group of people because they all identify with certain actions, and we glorify them because we need to glorify people to extort them. We glorify women so that we can extort them for unpaid labor. We glorify soldiers so that we can send them to wars, kill them, and they do not raise a question because they are being valued in the society. Stupids. Not them, but the society. That's the society that make them do so. Society has convinced soldiers, housewives to give their lives for somebody else with nothing in return. And they feel proud. So proud, they're filled with pride that there is no better job than a woman who is a housewife, who raises children, who gives birth. Soldiers, armies are filled with pride that there is no job more proud than serving their country. We are snatching their lives and we are making them feel proud, the fake pride of belonging to a certain group. But me, I just analyzed it so clearly, so deeply that I understood their plan. That they want us to be busy, occupied, and become a brain rot, stupid, dumb head, and just belong with anything, just anything. We're just making any sort of groups, any sort of group over individualism, over being in solitude, being alone. We cannot afford to have an individual identity because we are afraid to get alone. There's a new creed of vegans. They're fighting to convince other people that they should be vegan as well. Another group, leftists, they want to convince the right-wing people that even the poor deserve equal rights. Every caste and every religion deserves equal rights. Women deserve equal rights. And they also want to feel belong. They are fighting for their right because they want to be in their society. In a society made by conservatives, right-wing people, patriarch. How stupid it is. It is just a moment of realization and an action to take a commitment to ourselves that we will not fight with anything, we will not fight for anything, we just want to be left alone and we do not want to feel belong. What will happen if they will start killing Muslims, killing Hindus, killing Jews, killing Christians? Can you not belong to anything? Can you stop identifying with anything? Can you stop making more groups, dividing people humanity into more groups. We just want to feel belong. I'm happy for the people who have understood this structure and they chose their own identities, their own happiness. They do not feel belong. I do not feel belong to a country. It is an obligation on me that I want, that I have to write Indian on my passport, on any sort of documentation. It is an obligation. I do not want to be called an Indian. I do not want to be called any nationalist, any sort of uh, belonging to any sort of geography. Because what stupidity it is. They divided religions, geographical areas thousands of years ago. I didn't do that. I didn't make any religion. I didn't make any country. I didn't divide borders. I didn't make states. I didn't make language. Why should I feel proud in anything? That I was born in this particular city. I was born into this particular country, in this particular religion. I speak this language. I eat this food. I was married to this person. I was born into a certain family. What have I done to feel proud? But soldiers are dying. I feel pity for people who join armies and feel proud. Like, how did the society convince you into killing yourself for nothing? The idea of dividing borders was made by them, and they are using you, young boys, young men, young soldiers, who could just live a beautiful life. No, we need to protect our borders, we need to protect our motherland. From who? Why don't you fight if you want to protect it? The people sitting in power. If you are so concerned about protecting something, then why don't you go to the border? Why don't you go pick up the weapon? If the job of a soldier is so glorified, if the job of a housewife is so glorified, then why don't you do the job? But you glorify it, you convince them. Because they are convincible. They belong to a particular section of society, a weak section of society, that they need it. They need to be accepted because they have nothing else. And so you use them. You use them for your own fun, your own set of ideology. The coffee is cold and so am I. My mood is cold. But I am free. I have realized there was a time that I want to be a dutiful husband, a responsible son. I wanted to be a soldier because the idea of pa- patriotism, nationality, so much dopamine being advertised, marketed, so that it fills the human spirit with so much testosterone. And the sole idea of marketing is play with emotions. If you want to sell something, target the emotions, hijack their emotions, make them feel guilty, or make them feel glorified, and they'll buy your product. They'll buy your idea of patriotism. They'll buy your idea of sacrifice being a housewife. They'll buy your idea of being a good son, a good citizen of the country. You do not have your own ideas. You do not have your own creativity of ideas. Everything that you think is being fed to you by the powerful people. And so you belong to at least some sort of group. Analyze what sort of group you belong to and try to live it. Leave it. Just abandon that group. And you will feel so liberated, and you will have no obligation, no responsibility to make yourself depressed, anxious all the time, that you are not able to do something for that group. I don't want to do anything for anyone, anybody. People usually ask, in India specifically, if India goes to war tomorrow, will you be there? No, I won't be there, because I didn't choose the war. They choose the war. People who are sitting in the power, the ministers. But why do you want to kill me? Why do you want to ask me if I want to go to a war or not? And if I say no, people call me anti-nationalist. I am an anti-nationalist because I do not believe in the idea of any nationality. I do not believe in the idea of being an Indian. I do not believe in the idea of someone being an American or a Pakistani or anyone, because the idea of nationality is made by them. Why do you pull me in all of this nonsense? Why do you want to make me feel guilty if I choose my survival, if I choose my best? Because for them, an individual life doesn't matter at all. They want to pull you into wars, they want to make you feel guilty if you do not want to call yourself a patriot. Everything is driven by guilt and glorification. We are fucked. I am not. People who want to belong to certain things. Bye.